Hi everyone, and welcome to Introduction to WSU Libraries for Global Campus students. My name is Caitlin Hennessy, and I'm the Program Coordinator at Global Connections. And here at Global Connections, we provide engaging co- and extracurricular opportunities for online students wherever they have an internet connection. And tonight joining us is Erica England. She is the WSU Library Liaison for Global Campus. And throughout this evening, please use the chat box to ask questions, submit your own information, or if you have any technical difficulties, please let us know. The presenter will be answering questions throughout the evening tonight, so feel free to use the chat box at any time to type it in, and we'll be answering them periodically throughout the night. And I'm going to send it on over to Erica. Thank you.
So my name is Erica England. I am the distance education librarian, and I am just basically going to give you guys a brief introduction to services that the library has to offer you so that, you know, hopefully it is a lot more clear. I myself was a distance student and I found it very frustrating sometimes, and I kind of felt alone, and I really don't want you guys to ever feel like that. So please, if you have any questions, please make sure that you ask them, and anything after tonight, feel free to email me, contact me. Yeah, like I just don't want you guys to ever feel lost. So okay, so here is, hopefully you guys have all found it. It is the library website. Like I said, I'm going to very quickly go over some things. Hopefully you guys have discovered this tab right here. It is for you guys specifically. This is going to be a lot more in-depth information that you as global campus students need to know. So if you haven't found this site yet, please, at some point come back and actually read it, because it's going to give you hopefully a lot of clarity when it comes to any of the questions that you would have. So probably the biggest question that I get is about books and media, and what that means for you guys. So essentially, I don't want you guys to ever feel like anything is off limits when it comes to your research. We will do everything that we can to make sure that if it is pertinent to your research, you are going to get access to it. So what that means is we will mail things to you. So make sure that you are registered as global students, which of course you guys all are, but on your library account, you also need to make sure that you are global students, you're marked as global students, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. So we will mail them to you, but then we also have, and I will show you guys how to actually request those in a little bit, but we also have reciprocal borrowing through the consortium that we're a part of, and that's called Summit. So basically, if you live close to a university that is in Summit, and this link right here will actually give you a link to, or give you a list of all of the universities that are part of this consortium. If you live near any of these, you can just go into the library, make sure that you have your COOC card, and you can check out materials there. If it is faster for you to have it sent to this library than it is to have it sent to your home, you can do that as well. So, like I said, just make sure that you have your COOC card with you. That way you do have access to everything. And then there are going to be some materials that are non-circulating materials. And there's various reasons why we wouldn't circulate them. But for those, we would just basically copy them and email them to you in PDF form. So please feel like absolutely nothing is off limits to you. If we don't have it, and if Summit doesn't have it, there's another service that you can actually use, and it's called Interlibrary Loan. From the library homepage, if you just click on Interlibrary Loans, this will give you some information about it. But to actually, for those of you that need to sign up for this, if you click right here, the Iliad login page, all you have to do is log in with your credentials. Okay, and it probably helps if you type them a little bit, if you type them accurately. So what this does is it shows you what your requests are going to be. If you guys have not already signed up for this, it's going to prompt you to go ahead and sign up for this. For those of you that may have already been signed up for this, just take a minute, go to change personal information, and make sure that your preferred loan delivery method you have mail to address, because this way we will know in our system that anything that you request through Interlibrary Loan will actually be mailed to you. Keep in mind though that it does take a couple days for us to mail anything to you. So especially if it's through Interlibrary Loan, what happens is the library sends it to us, and then we have to process it, and then we have to mail it out to you. So it can take up to 4 days, probably even longer, especially if it's coming from, you know, the East Coast. And so the reason I tell you this is because, you know, you need to make sure that you're really proactive in your research and get on the ball. And I know that, like, as distant students, like, you know, distant student myself, I really had to be proactive when it came to my research. So that's a little bit about Interlibrary Loan. I will show you when we actually get into searching for materials, I will show you how to actually request materials from Interlibrary Loan when we don't have them. So if we go back to the library page, so when you need some help, you can always just click on this Ask Us right here. And what this will do is it will bring up different ways that you can get help. We do have 24/7, 365 days a year help for you. For, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, you need some help with the research question. We may not be answering it ourselves, but there is a librarian who may be sitting in, I don't know, Australia or England, that they have access to all of our policies, our catalog, our databases, everything, just like they were sitting on campus, and, you know, they are trained professionals, so they can actually help you when you have any questions about that. You can also look at, we do have a service called Book a Librarian. This is where we can sit down, meet with you. Of course, we would do it virtually unless you wanted to come to campus. And just click on this and just tell us, you know, like, for a global campus, you would want to do virtual, and tell us what you would prefer. Do you want to do a phone call? Do you want to do it by email? Do you want to do it by Skype, Skype for Business, Google Hangout, like whatever works for you guys. Give us a little bit of information about what the assignment entails and what you need help with specifically. And then, of course, give us a couple days and times, and one of us will definitely help you with that. So again, this is available to you guys. We also have, if you want to, let's say you have a question, and, you know, like, you want to know if other students have asked it, you can check our frequently asked questions. And what this will do is it will, you know, help you get answers, real quick answers. So let's say global campus, let's just put this in. So it's going to give you some information. You know, this question was, can distant students get books mailed to them? You know, yes, we can, and this is how you do it. So if you ever have a question and it's not showing up in here, simply ask us and we will get to you and we will answer this question privately. And, you know, that way, you know, you get the answer to your question. So we also have, from the library homepage, we also have some resource guides that are set up for you. And this is to help you when you get into your core classes, to help you a little bit more so that you can do things on your own. So if you click on the subject and resource guides, you'll see that there's different ways that you can search by it. If you, let's say you're a criminal justice major, right? So if you are searching for by subject and you go down to criminal justice, and let's say you're taking, I don't know, CJ 311, right? Because it says online. If you click on this, it's going to give you a whole bunch of ways to get started on your on your research. It's also going to give you the librarian who works specifically with this discipline so that you can contact them directly if you have any questions. So if you, let's say you want to look, I don't know, specifically at classes, right? Because sometimes we do make them, especially for online classes. You could look in here and see, you know, like, oh, honors 370 global cities. If you click on this, well, that's awesome. But it will give you some relevant information to help you specifically with this specific class or this particular assignment that you're looking for. So, all right. So that was a real quick brief how to a general search. Did anybody have any questions?
Hey, Erica. The first
Yep.
question is from Monica, and she asks if you can give some examples of how librarians can help distance students. Like, what kind of questions do they typically bring to y'all?
Oh, sure. So I get asked anything from, I'm having trouble accessing this article. Can you please help me? I also have students, distance students, that contact me for research in general. You know, they are working towards a specific assignment and they have hit a roadblock when it comes to their research. And so they'll email me and I can either help them out through email, or if it is, you know, like a convoluted question, then we'll set up a time to actually talk via phone, because sometimes, you know, that's easier to do. And so tell me when it's convenient for you, and I can actually walk you through some things. Sometimes they're troubleshooting questions, but a lot of the time it's research questions that students do have, whether it's a particular assignment that they're working towards, or they just want to know more about you know, what is available for their particular discipline.
Fantastic, thank you. That's all the questions we have for right now.
Okay, all right. So we're going to dive into Search It. Search It is, think of it as kind of our way of, or it's kind of our version of Google. So what it does is Search It searches our catalog, it searches all of the newspaper articles, all of the journal articles, all of the books. So when you are searching for this, it's important to remember to use keywords. Don't stick a question in here like you would with Google, because it really would not have any idea what to do with it. So this is where using key terms comes in. So for example, let's say we're writing a paper about, I don't know, we'll go with cannibalism because that's a fun topic. So if you click on, I mean, if you search for cannibalism, it's going to pull up a whole bunch of different types of materials. You'll see that we get over 30 or almost 37,000 results. This is not fun for anybody, right? So the first thing that you can do is you can look over here and you can actually refine your results. So a lot of your instructors are going to want you to use peer-reviewed articles. Peer-reviewed articles just basically mean that they have been reviewed by experts in the field, and they've been reviewed extensively to make sure that everything within that article is as credible as can be. So they're checking to make sure that it hasn't been plagiarized. They're checking to make sure that the content in it is accurate. They're checking to make sure that it's valid. If it's a hard science, they are checking to make sure that the procedures can be duplicated with the same outcome. So it's a very long process that they go through. But the reason why your instructors want them is because it's kind of a stamp of credibility. Like, this is about as good as it gets. So if your instructor tells you that they want peer-reviewed or scholarly articles, if you look over here, you can just click on peer-reviewed. And this, of course, it's still a ridiculous amount. We have 18,000 results, but you know, it's going to start refining these. And so these are all going to be scholarly peer-reviewed journal articles. From here, let's say, we'll just take a look at this one. When you click on this, there's a couple things that you should do. First, I would always suggest that you read this description. And the reason why is because if it is not relevant to your research, you should just skip it and move on. I don't care how good the title sounds. And then you should always take a look at the subjects. And the subjects will give you different ways of looking at your research. So for example, this one, it looks like it's talking about cannibalistic serial killers, which is kind of interesting. So always take a look at that. Then to actually access this article, all you have to do is under Access Options, you're going to click on Sage Complete, and it's going to pull up, it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to pull up the article itself, or it's going to pull up a record like this, or it's going to actually put you into the journal, which you would just have to search for it via the year, the volume, and the issue to find it. So this one actually gave us this, and then if you just click on Download PDF, here's your actual article itself. And then from here, you can print this out if you want to. What I always tell students is when you go back to the record, always email this to yourself. You know, it's so much easier to delete that email than it is to try to find this exact same article again. So how else you can refine it is, let's say you wanted to look at just, you know, the past 10 years, especially if you're in the sciences. Anything, you know, after 5 years ago has been, you know, it's considered old. So we are pulling in materials from the 1800s. So let's just say that we want to look at the past 5 years. So if we put in, change our publication dates from 2012 to 2017, it's going to pull it from 18,000 results to 5,500 results. Again, this is a really big search, and we would want to put more key terms in here to narrow it down even further. But this is, you know, a good way of narrowing that down. So if you ever want to remove any of your filters, all you have to do is click the X here. And now we're just looking at what's been published in the past 5 years. And now we can actually take a look. Let's go in and look at what some of the newspaper articles are saying, you know, and it's kind of the same thing. When you click on full text available, it's going to give you those access options. Now, when you see a screen like this, this is where it comes in, and it's really important. You need to look at your publication year. So for this one, it's 2015, right? But we have different holdings for it. So you want to make sure that you're available from, it's going to fall within that date range. So this one, it will fall in all three of them because it's either 2010, 2009, or 2008, and our publication date was 2015. So again, all you have to do is click on this and you're going to get the actual article to it. Okay, so if we now want to look at books, again, it's the same thing. You just show more, and now we can look at print books. And this is where it's going to be really important for you guys. So for us, we are looking at print books. Again, just because we only have it in print, we don't have it in ebook format, doesn't mean that it's not available to you. So when you see a book that has this, when you click on it, it will say sign in to see request options. And now you just click request item. When you click request item, your pickup location, you need to make sure that you are using the WSU Global Campus Delivery. This way we know we're going to go pull it from our stacks, we're going to process it, and we're going to stick it in the mail to you guys. And that goes for any and all of the books that we have. So if you happen to have the title of a book that we don't have, let's see. My goodness. So for this one, we don't, let's see. Oh, why is that not coming up? Hang on 1 second. Okay, that was kind of weird. But anyway, so this book we don't have access to. When you see check holdings, this means we don't actually have it in our collection. But again, all you have to do is click on it, and it's going to tell you to request summit item. It takes about 5 days for it to get to you. You can actually, since you're distance students, if you live by one of them, you can actually click on show libraries, and it's going to tell you which of the libraries within the consortium has a holding for it. So if you live near Eastern Washington University, you can just go down there, show them your coup card when you check out, and they are going to process it just like you were in the library here. If you don't live near any of these, all you need to do is click on Request Summit Item, and again, you're going to make sure that you click on Global Campus Delivery, and then hit Request, and it's going to go through. All right, so that is Search It. Are there any questions about Search It before we move on?
Hey, Erica, we do have one question from Melissa. She asks, for one of my courses, our professor requires us to find specific articles using Search It. Is there a great method to do that or a best method?
So you just need to find articles within Search It. That's where your keywords are going to get. Is he telling you a specific article that you need to find, or he wants you to use Search It to find the articles?
He says specific articles.
Okay, so if you have the title of it, all you need to do is put the title of the article in Search It and click Search, and it should hopefully come up. I didn't think to jot down the name of a title so that we could look at it, but so that you could see how that is, but you should be able to find it that way. If you are unable to find it by the article title, you can always search by the author. So, you know, if you just click on that, then you should be able to find it one of two ways. If you put it on reserve by any chance, if you click on course reserves here, just stick in either your instructor's name or what the actual course is itself, and it's going to pull up anything, and that's how you would actually get that information unless he's put it in the Blackboard shell. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thanks, Erica. That's all the questions we have right now. And Melissa says, yes, it does answer the question.
Okay, great. All right. So another way that you can search for materials is to actually look in our databases. We have hundreds of databases. From the library homepage, all you have to do is click on Find Articles Databases. And so there's a couple different ways that you can do this. If you click on Databases A to Z, you'll see it pulls it up A to Z, right? But if you know your subject, like let's say you're an education major, if you click on education, so we have 34 databases that deal specifically with education, it's going to pull all of them up. Okay, and then you can just go through all of these, and it's nice because they give like a brief synopsis of what all is going to be included in this. However, if you go to the databases by subject and actually click on it, so let's go back to education. This is a really nice feature that pops up because it shows you what your best bets within the discipline are going to be for the databases. So these are the ones that you are really going to be able to find some information. And then it's really nice because it gives you the subject-specific librarian, and when you click on that, it's going to give you Christy's contact information. So if you have any education questions, you can always email Christy as well. So the databases, I'm not going to really go into them at all because they all work very differently, and it's all dependent upon your discipline and how those databases work. So for discipline-specific, I would always recommend that you contact your librarian specifically because they are going to know the best way to search within those databases. We do have a few general databases, and these general topics, these are what they do is they search a broad amount of disciplines. And so if you are really struggling to find something within your own discipline database, I would always recommend that you go into either Academic Search Complete or Academic Search Complete or LexisNexis. LexisNexis is really good for pulling in newspapers and magazines and things like that. Academic Search Complete is a very user-friendly database. You just search by keywords. So if we're still doing cannibalism and you search for it, It's just very user intuitive. You refine it the exact same way. Here's how you get those scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Down below is how you can actually change the publication dates. And so maybe, you know, maybe some of these weren't pulling up in Search It. And so, you know, or maybe they were so far back that we weren't getting them. And then you just click on the Find It, and it's going to pull in the access options for that. So that's how you search within our databases. And then I'm going to really quickly show you the journals when you're searching for a specific journal. I would always recommend that you find out what your top journals within your field are, and go take a look. Go find out what research is being done within your field and who the researchers are, and of course, like who the editors are. Like, become familiar with the people within your field as well. So if you're searching for a specific journal, again, when you go to Find Articles Databases, under Finding Full Text, you can look at the e-journals that we have, and you guys should have access to all of these because they are electronic. So if you're searching for a specific journal, they're going to pull up A to Z. If you're searching for a specific journal, you can just simply type it in. What I want to show you guys is examples of what happens when we have journals that are only in print. So for example, police chief, this is a CJ. It shows that we don't have access to this. If you go in and you do a search it for it, you use Search It, it's going to tell you that we have it in print. So remember, this is electronic only, but if you use Search It, it's going to show you what else we have in print in the library itself. And so for these, you would need to request this via Interlibrary Loan. So when you click on this, again, under your availability and request options, just click on Request through Interlibrary Loan, and it's actually going to start pre-populating everything for you. Just put in what volume, what issue, you know, the years that you need, things like that. Give them as much everything with the asterisk. And what they'll do is they will pull it from the shelf, they will scan these in, and they will email it to you directly. So also make sure that the email that we have on file is one that you actually check. It's actually happened where students they give us like a fake email address, and so they're not getting the information that, you know, that we are, that they're looking for. So, okay. So if there's a journal that we only have limited access to, the Journal of Biotechnology Law, when you click on it, it's going to show you that we only have the year 2009 to 2009. We only have 1 year of this, right? So if you need anything outside of the year of 2009, all you have to do is click on Request through Interlibrary Loan, and it's going to pull up the same information. Give us the year, give us the volume, the issue, you know, try to give as much information as you possibly can. And then for journals that we don't own at all, I'll show you what it looks like in both of them. So here's the electronic journal. It's telling you we don't, you know, there's no records at all. And then here, when you search and search it, remember, we're looking for the journal, right? And so it's not coming up at all. When you look at type and you click down here, if you don't find journals, and remember, we're looking for the journal Conscience, right? So here it is, and it says check holdings. This means we don't have it whatsoever. And so it's going to prompt you to, oh, that's interesting. It's going to, well, for some reason, I'm not logged in, but what it will do is it's going to prompt you to request the information through Interlibrary Loan. And again, here it is. Again, give as much information as you possibly can. So Okay, that's it for me. Are there any questions?
Hi, Erica. We do have a few questions. Our
Okay.
first is, I have a question about the citation link once you've located a book or an article. For example, I click on the Chicago Tribune 16th edition citation. Does that mean it's also Chicago style, or will I have to edit it so it's in the correct format?
Okay, so with these, we'll just go pull up an article. So I always tell students, don't ever trust what is here, right? So when you go to this, cite this item, what it does is it gives you a whole bunch of different ways of doing it. And it is really nice that you can copy paste this into your reference list. But what you need to do is you need to actually go find the style guide, whether it's APA or MLA Chicago, whatever it is, and you can just Google that. And, you can always go to Purdue OWL. They have a great examples of how to cite for the different styles. But what you should do is you should copy this into your reference list and then actually go find the actual accurate citation style guide and then make any necessary edits and changes that you need to. I can tell you right now that there is nothing that is ever going to be all caps unless it has something to do with the name of the journal. So for example, this is Omega. This would be capitalized, but we see a lot the titles capitalized, the authors' names are capitalized, and that's not ever going to be correct. So I would always just caution that you always go double check to make sure that it is in fact accurate.
Thanks, Erica. And Kara jokes, can you add other options so it'll make it easier for us? LOL.
You know what? Send me a list of other options, and I will push them forward, and I will let them know. Like, students are requesting this. This would help them because we understand that it's very overwhelming, and we want to make this as simple as possible for you guys. So please, if you ever have any suggestions, please let us know what they are.
Great, thanks, Erica. Our next question asks, when ordering a book from the online library, do we have to pay to mail back or is it prepaid?
No, so it is prepaid. When you actually get your book in the mail, it will have the return postage stamp to it. It's going to be mailed through priority mail, the U.S. Post Office. So keep the box that it comes in, just take the stamp that's already out and slap it on there. If you lose the box, just make sure you keep the postage. When you go to the post office, just get a new box and slap it on there. However, if you do lose the postage that we've already sailed you, you are now responsible for paying for it. So I would always suggest that you just keep the postage sticker in the book that you are actually using.
Fabulous, thanks. And our next question from Jessica asks, can we access the library loan system during the summer semester even if we're not registered for summer classes?
That is the question for access services, actually. And that's actually a really good question. So let me see if I can quickly find out how to contact them, because sometimes okay, so under Contact Us, if you go to Holland Terrell Libraries, Access Services is who you want to contact. Sometimes if you are going to be a continuing study student, we can grant you access to it. If you live in the state of Washington, since we're a land-grant university, we are open to the community. So at that point, you should be able to be a community patron as well. So I would suggest that you get a hold of Access Services and find out what you as global campus students need to do to get access during the summer.
Great, thanks, Erica. And if anyone else has questions, please put them into the chat box now. Otherwise, we are going to start wrapping it up. If you are getting extra credit from either Psych 265 or History 102, please do type that into the chat box unless you already have it by your name, that I've made note of it.